Aside from our previous video, there is still some information you need to know about riverine rabbits. If you prefer different tree species, make it positive it isn't dangerous and give it to the air dry for nearly 6 months before you present it to your bunny. Applewood, though, does not need this procedure. Just make convinced it's clean and natural. Make sure you acquire playthings that hold various designs. Common behavior. Riverine rabbits are nocturnal and solitary. They serve on their chosen leaves, grasses, flowers, and foods at night. Throughout the morning, they sleep in orders. It offers 2 varieties of excrements. While engaged in the evening, the rabbit will present solid excrements, and during the day, excrements are light, carried straight from the anus and consumed. In this process, the riverine rabbit receives vitamin B, produced by bacteria in the rear abdomen, and minerals such as phosphorus and calcium are converted. They are polygamous, but they breathe and skim for food solely. They have intra-reproductively particular home areas. The male's habitat extends overhang insignificantly with those of the several females. Between August and May, females will build a cradle in a hole filled with wheat and hair and pressed with twigs and soil. This nest is 4 to 6 inches in diameter, 10 inches long. Diet and feeding habits. The riverine rabbit is typically identified as being a searcher. They consume riparian plants located near seasonal rivers in the Karoo Desert. This covers salt-loving shrubs such as the lycium and salsala. They frequently devour weed, hinging on if it is the damp season. Apart from their regular food consumption, they likewise use their daytime excrements, which are squishy and appear right from the anus. This is beneficial since their excretions carry vitamin created by the bacteria in the hindgut and includes minerals such as phosphorus and calcium. Reproduction and life cycle. The riverine rabbit is one of the most unusual animals in the realm, and very few are recognized concerning its generative course other than that it has a polygamous coupling arrangement, where males couple with higher than one female. It carries its juveniles subterrane for security. The single offspring that the rabbit breeds are born altricial, or helpless, hairless, and visionless, and measures from 0.08 to 0.11 pounds. It is the uniquely African rabbit that carries its newborn clandestinely. The weak baby remains with the mother until it is competent to breathe on its own and defending for itself. The low reproductive pace of merely 1 offspring per cycle is different from most other bunnies and has driven efforts to raise figures of this endangered species. A breeding territory has been built at the De Wilt Cheetah and Wildlife Center near Pretoria. These bunnies will couple with various exemplars and are the only identified rabbit species to build cradles for the infant. Somewhat unusually, 2 kittens may be produced at once. The riverine rabbit has a development phase of approximately 35 days. This rabbit has an existence in the native of merely 3, and frequently 4 years. Breeding. The riverine rabbits are sluggish breeders, and when the breeding period begins, they may solely deliver 1 or 2 offspring. This is a surprisingly low number, recognizing that the riverine rabbits merely last for around 3 years. Bonding with your rabbit. When you first take your bunny home, you're required to observe how it associates with its surroundings. See where it runs to the toilet, how it responds to different individuals in your home, how it acts to the playthings, which toys it fancies and neglects, and how it behaves to the place in which you settle it. Don't fret if it merely rests in a nook for several moments, then feeds, then rests down when you initially arrange it. Do not interrupt it, no concern about what it appears. It is adapting to its current conditions. Throughout these first several days, let it be in its enclosure. Regularly, gain a moment to squat close to the bunny and communicate to it in a faint, soft sound. Once your rabbit appears to become accustomed to you, you can allow it outside of its enclosure. Shut all the access to the room its enclosure is in. If one access doesn't hold a door, obstruct it for the event being. Succeeding, permit your bunny out of its enclosure. Don't hoist it out, merely unlock the entrance of it and allow it to leap out on its own. Remain in the center of the chamber, making something calm, such as writing, listening to calm music, or reading. Have some herbs with you in the event it becomes inquisitive. Once your bunny gets out of the enclosure, allow it to bounce around on its own. Don't get it to proceed to you, and don't walk around excessively. It will ultimately bounce over to you, interested in what you're making and who you are. When it appears, permit it to smell you, then give a tiny bit of legume, roughly the size of a thumbnail. If it looks wary, remain calm, and speak softly to it. Don't actuate too hastily since you may frighten it. If your rabbit needs some moment getting to you, ready for it to behave so. If it goes close and it doesn't get the herb, solely place it down and move back to your venture. Neglect it until it finally proceeds to the food. When it appears, let it pick the bit of vegetable you set down. After it consumes the first part, give it at it a tiny bit. If it gets over to consume it, then remain quiet and speak inaudibly to it. Once it reaches up to you and grants you to serve it, gradually begin petting it on its head following it has stopped chewing. If it remains tranquil or drops its head to the area, keep progressing. If it winces or moves away, pause and move back to your venture. You need to remain for it to advance one more chance and strive again. If it snaps you, yell noisily. This will allow it to understand that you are in distress, which will make it apparent to it that it pained you. If you are holding a difficult course connecting with your bunny, don't lose hope. Shift between giving your bunny a tiny portion of legumes, petting your rabbit, and snubbing it entirely. If it nears you, attempt serving it again. If it whacks you, it requires care. Pet it if it makes this. Repeat this every some day until you grow connected with your current pet bunny. Keeping it healthy. When you purchase a bunny, you need to make certain you identify a doctor who can afford the kind of attention it might demand. Locate a doctor who has possessed loads of expertise with bunnies and small mammals, as their attention is distinct from that of felines and canines. Then, once you have your rabbit, bring it for an examination to make convinced it is fine. Drive your rabbit for routine examinations, just similar to other family pets. This will make it more manageable if you have urgency with your bunny, considering the vet will already comprehend it. Make sure each one in your home comprehends how to pull up a rabbit perfectly. To pull a bunny up accurately, ladle the bunny up utilizing one arm near the surface of the body with the opposite hand beneath the back end. As you hoist it, carry the rabbit toward the side of your body to provide it extra comfort. Bunnies can grapple when they get nervous. They may attempt to flee from what they perceive as a scary circumstance. They can crack their own spine in the manner, often experiencing a lethal disease, if plucked up clumsily. Before you purchase a rabbit, you have to guarantee no infliction can get to the bunny when it leaps around your home. Bunnies will bite cables if they notice them. Make certain your electrical fibers, network cables, and several other chains are concealed or far. Obtain synthetic wire or line cover or pipes to take them out of the access. You can likewise run circuits and cord behind fittings or safely along with the partition away of your rabbit's range. Never work cords or lines or fibers beneath the matting. This can induce a flare. Although bunnies seem like charming tiny knots of fur, they don't relish being caressed and squeezed excessively. Bunnies are more inclined to be frightened of being held, particularly if you bend over them and attempt to pull them up. Because they are victim creatures, this prompts them to be tracked by falcons and other birds, which can scare them. Assess your bunny's character and obtain the most dependable method to address and pull it up. If you enjoyed this video, kindly press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, so that you don't miss out on videos like this. Thank you for watching.